I suppose I first got brought into a gym at like 15, 16 for rugby. That's when you were brought in. And then it was kind of, you're kind of like half fecked into the deep end. Like I've said this to a few people before that like when it comes to like fitness, nutrition, and all that stuff, we were given everything you needed, but it wasn't actually explained to you. You know, the whole idea of like I always say in like my consults with potential clients that in the politest way, I want you to fuck off,
Hmm.
meaning that if I teach you enough, you can go do this yourself. And I find like that we didn't have that. We didn't have that when we were growing up. So like you were shown how to do exercises, you were brought into a gym, but like I notice it now with S&C's coaching teams. It's just kind of one program for 30 people, which was kind of the same mentality as what we had, 15 to 18. And like after that, like I fell out of fitness after finishing school. I think it was I started again kind of like first year of college playing rugby. I injured myself towards the end of the season and then I went off the deep end um, and gained load of weight. And I think
What can you go back to? So let's say when you first did the kind of S&C stuff in the gym with your coach, and you were only 15. Like, what would you have from your experience? What would you have done differently as the coach in the room to the 15-year-olds, or would you do anything different?
I'd be personalizing workouts and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the whole standardized test of bench press and pull ups to see if you're a good fucking athlete
Mm.
is a load of shite. Like, if you can't bench your body weight three times, or you can't, do a pull up, then you won't be able to do this, which is a load of shite. I've played rugby most of my life without being able to do pull ups properly.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's that kind
Well,
of
like
stuff.
yeah, it's like someone who like depending on your weight, like if someone's like really light, a pull up is going to be easy for them. If they're
Yeah, well,
small,
like we
it's
used. I think the funniest one I always remember is being, and this is only like maybe 8 years back. I think it was
yeah,
8 years back. I was back playing rugby at home here in Limerick, and they were doing pre-season testing and stuff. And you're doing your fucking Broncos outside, and then you went into the gym, and they were doing your max bench test, and then they went to pull-ups, and they were like weighted pull-ups, and you're watching the backs, maybe fucking 75, 80, 85 kilos doing pull-ups most of their life, cracking them out with like a huge weight hanging off them, and
yeah.
then you're watching the forwards with a little 1.25 disc between your legs on a chain, trying to pull yourself off the ground and struggling. You were just looking over and you're like, I'm already carrying that weight. I don't
Mm.
need to add more on. A fucking kilo's way too much.
But do you think, right, like in regards to, okay, so let's say you're 15, you probably it's probably not like very like well like they probably don't have a huge budget to for each 15-year-old to have their own coach. Like
Well,
do
well,
you
now like it was interprovincials. Like it was you were playing school. So it was like it was collective of schools together for Munster schools rugby. So like
yeah,
you had a quality gym, you had quality coaches. I can understand that within the like group coaching
parameter.
team day, you
Yeah.
have the standard sets of exercise.
Yeah.
But if you also had a program where someone else went, well, this is what you could work on in the side, we didn't
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That
So, because
that's
there's this dynamic, I think, with coaches between like, oh, everything needs to be personalized and nothing needs to be like standardized, and I don't think that's realistic or practical as well. But within the parameters of, let's say, okay, you're bringing a team in to do some sort of a training session. Yeah, between like we're all going to focus on doing some sort of a
yeah.
heavy press or a heavy pull or some lateral movements. Like within that, there's still like regressions and progressions and adding in more load. So instead of this person doing a weighted pull up, they might be doing like a row or a pull
Or a
down or
hold
something.
or a
Yeah,
hold.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like John, yeah, like John. That's what I kind of found, and I noticed that it's still going on. It's the regression and progression
Yeah.
isn't there. It's this is what we're doing. Grand. And like, most of the time you're watching most of the lads forwards and it's like, well, we can't do that. We
Yeah.
say pull-ups wise.
Yeah.
Or like you have the backs and the forwards doing the same beep test, and it's like you probably should change that a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. Was there any positives from you started from you doing them? Because that's your entry into the gym and your entry into
Yeah.
fitness outside of sport, I suppose. Which is what you do now in regards to like training the general public. Um, like is there any like do you look back on any of that and think, well, it wasn't perfect, but I still got a lot out of that.
Um. Obviously, with my size and the way it's changed over the years, and like blowing up in weight, rugby in the gym was always that kind of safe space when it came to being athletic or being fitness.
Mm,
Like you could call someone a fat bastard on a rugby field, and your biggest worry should be the guy's going to run over you.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
same as being inside in a gym, being able to throw around a heavy weight, no matter what shape or size you are, just brings that level of confidence and just power.
That's so
You know,
funny because
fucking away around is just
I had this
fun.
conversation. I had this conversation with someone. I'm trying. Their name has gone out of my head, but they do a lot of research on male body image and binge eating disorder. And one of the topics that he was researching, I think he's done a thesis on this was the difference between body image and body dysmorphia in athletes compared to when they're on the pitch and or they're on the court or whatever their
You
specific sport
you
is.
talked about this. You talked about this on a podcast we did a couple of months back
Did I?
when we talked about body image, and we talked about like we even referenced it to how people who have body image issues when they're in their sport, like rugby players, the level of confidence they have on the field, and then
Mm,
when they step off it,
yeah,
it's like they shrink.
yeah,
Kind of like how I'd compare it to getting into the water, my confidence levels in the sea compared to my confidence levels standing beside the water.
yeah. Do you think that has a lot to do with functionality? Because obviously we know that functionality obviously improves, like focusing on functionality versus appearance. Obviously, it obviously improves body image. And I remember when I was talking to this person, they were saying even like females who are in sport, they love how athletic they look when they're moving on the pitch and stuff like that, and then they'll go put a dress on and go out to a nightclub and then feel self-conscious that they're too bulky or whatever the terminology they
Yeah,
want to use is.
you brought this up on the podcast we did, and I can't think of the name of the person because
Mm,
I know I wanted to. I definitely wrote it down somewhere on a sticky note, and
yeah.
well, that's gone because I wanted to look at it myself. It's of course, man. Like you feel like when you've achieved something on a field or inside in a gym, and you're proud of what you've done. You have that confidence in your body. Then when you get out, it's getting back. It's out of your comfort zone.
Hmm.
So you're putting on clothes that you're not 100%. Like you have been inside in the gym wearing shorts and a tank top. John, wearing next to nothing. You go out wearing jeans and a shirt, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I don't know if I like how I feel in this.
Yeah, 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 yeah. True.
You know, it's a weird.
Rob,
It's a
Rob,
weird.
what about you? What's your first experience in a gym setting or environment? Do you remember your first workout?
I remember the first gym I did a proper workout in, and that was like this little, it was quite a big one. It had good equipment, but basically there was this working men's club kind of thing that was attached to a company called Glaxo, um, and just like pool tables, snooker tables, etc. And you wouldn't expect there to be a gym there. And mates were just, oh, should we go to the gym? Just walking me down this weird back alley, and we just walked into it. And the first experience of it was I enjoyed throwing some weights around,
What
but
age were you?
I'd say probably 16, 17.
Similar
The
to me.
main reason, well, no, I'd been younger, 15, 16. The main reason for going though was my mates were all into like just wanting to build muscle and look good. So quite a slightly different reasoning for Ger there. Um, and I think if I'd have gone into it with more of a sport drive, I would have gotten into it a little bit more. With bit more education of to why, like you were saying, Joe, like if you get told why you're doing it and what the progressions are going to actually benefit, I think I'd have gotten into it a bit more. But I just went in, did a bit of training. It was all kind of vanity focused. And I think it just kind of died down a little bit for me. We did a
What
little bit of
did going in for a vanity goal not like did you stick at it or did you stop?
Well, it wasn't necessarily just for that. I stopped. I was so inconsistent. I mean, I'm not the most consistent that I am that I could be now either.
Yeah.
But I also didn't drive, didn't have a scooter, didn't have this, that, and the other, and I lived in the middle of nowhere. So everywhere that I needed to go was half an hour away, and I couldn't rely upon myself to get there. So like my main exercise was sprinting up the rough track near my house with my dog
Yeah.
and doing press ups
When
on the
did
floor.
you when did you well like I think I'm pretty similar. Like I went to my first gym my first gym when I was 16, did a workout with my friends, didn't have a clue what I was doing there, but it was okay. And then I didn't really go back for then another couple of years. Like I was definitely inconsistently consistent, kind of floating in and
Yeah.
out. But when did you go through a period of like, oh, I'm someone that goes to the gym and trains?
I'll be honest, I think probably about 8 years ago, 10 years ago was the first time that I started. Like I did, so I went to Loughborough Uni and should have been like an absolute gym buff going there and into the sports and everything. But there was the comparison of like everyone was so elite that you just kind of felt uncomfortable. But a few of my mates would keep going. I kind of focused on education a little bit more, stressed about education, didn't actually focus on it that well, but stressed about that more. My ex-girlfriend tried to get me into the gym because she was like, this is really good for mental health. It gets you it like, and she felt great doing it. But I would just go into the gym and I couldn't switch off from work and I wasn't doing that much. Um, so yeah, it took me a while to kind of get into it and realize how good it was. And then I moved down to Cornwall, doing my teacher placements. And I was like, I need to know people. Otherwise, I'm just going to be sat in my house doing absolutely nothing. So I was just like, right, social place, let's go to a gym. And one of the best decisions I made, like I made so many good friends going there and like just going to classes and stuff to begin with and learned a lot of stuff, met different people that I could then go to the beach with or go out for dinner and drinks with. Um, and my cardio improved significantly. I didn't really have a goal, but the people that were at the gym that I was going to, called the Gym Project, they just were so helpful, and it was really nice socially. And you just learn the benefits of it because they actually cared about you as a member, and I think that's a huge makes a huge difference. Like yourself, Jer, going into the sports stuff, they're not actually focused on you as an individual. You don't really feel like you're getting as much from it, even if it's just placebo. You feel like you get way more from it if someone actually pays attention to you and says you're doing it for this reason.
Yeah, I think for me on the the personalization of it, I think it was because I was new to it
Mm,
and I wanted to know more about it, so I'd find my reason for enjoying it.
got you. Yeah.
No, like knowing what, like just, I think it was also that just being told what to do is not something I enjoyed. I was like, tell me why. Give me a good reason why the fuck I'm doing this, or else I don't want to do it.
I was the same with everything. Gym, education, going
Yeah.
for a walk, eating vegetables. Like I needed to know exactly why I was doing this thing.
Yeah.
Why
Give me a good reason, or I'm
yeah.
not doing it.
Stop telling me to do stuff unless you like it's like being a kid, isn't it?
Yeah.
A parent or a guardian says, do this, and you're like, why? Do this, why?
Why?
And like, just
Why?
do it.
Do you think that education comes in time, regardless of whether you're curious or not, just through the repetition of going and gaining experience?
I think it definitely can. Yeah. There's a different efficiency. Like everyone learns differently, don't they? Some people learn just by doing it themselves better. Some people learn by being told it. Some people learn by a mixture of both. Yeah, it just depends.
Yeah, because personally, I only learn through, like I'm doing a thing. So now it's relevant. So now I need to understand how to do it better. So now I'll learn about it. So I have to create action first, and then education off the back of that, rather than learning, like understanding how to do something and then doing it. I would rather, okay, I'm gonna go into the gym. Now I'm on this machine. How the fuck does this machine work? Okay, now I need to learn about what this machine does, and then off the back of that, after you put all them pieces together, like this exercise and this exercise and this exercise, okay, so now how do I incorporate them into a program? And why shouldn't I be doing, 5 different exercises that has a squat pattern in it? Why do I need to only do two? Or why, how many reps should I be doing? And why can I do between 3 and 30? And why is it better to do lower reps on this exercise and higher reps on this exercise? But like all of that, all of them questions come as a byproduct or a back end effect of actually going and just showing up and saying, I'm just going to train, and whether it's dog shit and I'm doing everything wrong. And I think that's like, that's what something that I see with, like, the general public as well. It's like, instead of needing to understand everything, you probably just need to get yourself through the door first and be
Yeah.
consistent.
No, I'd agree with that completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go in and fuck around and find out.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
No, like you
But
don't need to know absolutely everything.
Yeah.
You learn it over time, and
Or
like it
you,
all
you don't
depends
need
on.
to you don't need to know everything all at once, I think.
No,
Yeah.
no. And what good is it going? Like, if you watch videos upon videos and tutorials and find some online class of how to do a certain exercise, but in the 20 hours you've learned about it, you haven't tried it once. What's the fucking point? Like, you still may not be able to do it.
Yeah.
Like,
And I
I
think
remember my
I think that philosophy is really good with anything that you do in life. Like even if like starting a business, it's like, okay, well, I want to start this business, but I need to learn how to, do my finances, do my taxes, learn marketing, learn sales strategies, learn, all these things.
still learning that shit.
Yeah, but like all them things come as a byproduct of, okay, I'm gonna do the thing first. I'm gonna open the business, and then I'm gonna figure out what I need to do along the way. And you just learn as a byproduct of just throwing yourself into the deep end, I think.
yeah, it makes it become a more real concept rather than just like an abstract thought.
Yeah.
And then you actually engage with it more rather than just being a fleeting idea. Like when I first got told about the gym and I saw my mates were like blowing up, they were like, "Oh yeah, just go to the gym." They were obviously doing other stuff as well, but um, the concept of the gym was just there's this building people go to and they come out a little bit bigger.
Mm.
I didn't know what the machines were going to be. I didn't know there were going to be treadmills, dumbbells, whatever. I had no idea. So like being told go to the gym, then do like bench press and do this, that, and the other. I had no idea what that was. So I needed to go in, see what the machines are to actually kind of, yeah, make that mind reality connection. So I agree with what you're saying, Carl. Yeah.
Did
Going in
did
and
did you have any moments of like anxiety or nervousness that you can recall from your initial experiences?
honestly still do. Going into different gyms now, even the same ones that I would normally go to, especially if I haven't been for a while,
Hmm.
you don't know who you're going to see. You may see people that you really didn't want to bump into. You may see brand new people. It's
Only if
just
you've been a dirty boy,
didn't necessarily mean that.
Roberts.
Let's brush past that quickly.
All right, here's it. Can I
Yeah,
ask you a question off the back of that? Not off the back of that, but off the back of the anxiousness. Um,
yeah.
what probably helped it. What probably helped is that the two of you both started off in the gym relatively early. Do you think that like kids should be exposed to a gym environment from an early age? Because like I know Jerry, you're probably the same as you've probably met a lot of people along the way who like I recently have had 3 of my members who are 65 plus who have stepped into the gym for the first time ever, and like
Oh,
that's
yes.
nerve wracking for if you didn't do that earlier on in your life.
Man, a huge chunk of my client base is 50, 55 and up
Hmm.
that have never been inside in a gym and they're now being told I have to go do it. Like I think is my oldest client 60, 67. I think 67. Another one's about 60, and like they've never been in a gym before. They don't like gyms. Obviously, my gym's a little bit different. It's more private. But like they're all being told to go to the gym, and it's the idea of like it's never too late to start, but imagine how much easier it would be if you went in the and not from an anxiety thing, just from moving your body. Like you see the difference in people who've been active, who've done some sort of resistance training. They may not be hulking out in the gym 3 days a week, but they've done some kind of resistance training, some kind of cardio, and you can see the difference in how they move around when they're older.
Yeah,
Like I always make the joke, I'm like, if I can't wipe my own arse at 80, might as well put me down.
yeah.
Like that. I want to be able to go up and down the stairs. I want to be able to do things. So like starting it easier or starting it earlier, like you'll benefit from it long term. Imagine imagine being 50 years 50, 55 years old and you have 40 years inside in the gym.
Mm. Do you think it should be
Be
mandatory in school, Rob?
No,
uh,
no. I think
Give me your layout of reasons why. Give me your.
yeah, yeah. I think it's a difficult one to say yes or no. But what I've been thinking along there was I think it would be great for people to go into gyms, see what they are, and like just be exposed to it, so that later on down the line, if they do then want to go to it,
Yeah.
they're aware of what it might consist of.
the
What do you
only,
think? What do you think are the drawbacks of, let's say, having it as a part of your curriculum? Let's say 1 hour a week.
Having things mandatory like weightlifting and things like that, I've got, especially now with social media, I think there's a lot of pressure on, well, we know that there's a lot of pressure on body image and lifting really heavy weights and things like that. And I think when you're developing, especially as a teenager, ego is, I mean, it's still a big thing for everyone, like for us guys as well. But ego as a teenager is a huge thing. And like if you're going into the gym and you're like, oh, that guy's lifting that, you're going to want to lift that weight, if not more. Especially if there's
I,
someone.
I have a counter argument on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So like PE is mandatory,
Hmm.
and people are shit at sports. People don't like sports. They don't want to do it. Whereas like the gym is essentially more inclusive. You could be very bad at playing sports,
I
but
agree.
you could be unbelievable inside in a gym.
Yeah, I agree. Because
And it is
I
some
know so many coaches who were like, "Oh, I never thought I thought I could never be into fitness because I was never good at sport," and then they found the gym and then they became
yeah,
coaches off the back of that.
and like the other side of like we do need it for our health. So like
Yeah,
forcing some kids to go out and kick around a ball when they really do not want to kick a ball, but getting the like it doesn't mean you have to have it mandatory every PE class or something, but introducing them to them, like maybe we do 20 minutes of this, 30 minutes of this, and maybe we try 30 minutes of the thing you actually don't fucking like at all.
and I also think
Like, like
if it's part of the school curriculum and they bring in someone who's actually qualified in terms of training children,
yeah,
it won't be like, oh, put this kid on a 100 kilo deadlift. It will be like, let's create an environment where people are able to pull up their body weight,
or
do.
having your PE coach trying to teach a bunch of rugby players how to pass a rugby ball when they're sixth year of school, 17, 18 years old, and your man doesn't know how to fucking do it himself.
Yeah.
I say, why are PE teachers always geography and history teachers?
Now, what I would say is
I
I
think
agree with Rob in regards to the body image thing, but I don't think I agree with what you're saying in regards to the body image thing, and the gym can be a very body centric, body focused environment if it's done the incorrect way. But we both know that there's vast different types of gym environments. So like a CrossFit gym will have
Yeah.
no mirrors in it. So it's not focused on aesthetics, it's focused on performance. Whereas you go to a commercial gym, it might be mirrors everywhere, and how do you look when you're training, etc. So I understand that would
Man,
definitely be a case.
I've
I put up mirrors in my gym because I just got them. I got them for cheap enough, and I was like, oh, why not? And to this day, I regret putting them up there.
Really, yeah.
They're locked in. Yeah, they're locked in a frame. The squat rack, that's rogue squat rack I have. I'd move that to the side and I'd bolt in another squat. I'd get rid of the mirrors like that because even I know there's clients that don't like doing certain exercises in front of the mirror. There's clients that do like doing certain exercises in the mirror. So if I'm laying out the room for a group session, I know who's going to be in front of the mirror and who's not going to be in front of the mirror.
Mm, yeah.
No.
but going back to that, I am changing my mind a little bit. So you are right in terms of, well, I think part of why I disagreed was I disagree with some of the sports in PE being mandatory, like you were saying, Joe. Like if someone really doesn't like or doesn't benefit from football, a lot of the time, like there'll be a group that's really not good at it, and then they get taken to the side to do another sport or a different version, and or they do the same thing. It's just embarrassing, and sometimes the PE teacher's so egotistical that they just take the piss out of them and they bully them, and then they're scared of exercise later down the line.
Yeah.
Like if there is, like you say, an environment where they can just go sit down, move a couple of weights here and there, but they're getting told how to do it and
Properly, yeah.
what they're benefiting from it.
I think that could
I
be
think that
invaluable. It could be invaluable
I
later
got
on.
100%. So yeah, I'm changing my mind. I think, especially as exercise in general is mandatory at school,
Yeah.
I think having the gym as an inclusive part of that would be,
yeah.
Do you know?
especially
Do you
knowing
know?
why.
Do you know after third year we didn't have to do PD. Actually, it's not we didn't have to do PE. PE wasn't even a, a subject.
Right.
Yeah, which I think is
Well, see
absolutely.
then,
Because if with me
yeah,
with my personality, put me in a classroom for 8 hours a day and see how I thrive. Not very
Oh,
well.
mate,
hopping
I'm
off fucking walls. Yeah.
I was
teaching now. I
bold.
would not be.
But man, back to the inclusivity thing and like man, my mum, there was a good athletics club inside Limerick, like a very good one, and she sent us in there when she was young because like we were into sports, like we played everything, like good swimming, hurling, soccer, Gaelic football, all that. So she sent us into the athletics club. Now I'm made to run around the field chasing a ball and hitting off things. I'm not made for fucking sprinting against other people. You know, it's not. It's a different kind of athleticism that I'm good over 15 meters. You
Yeah.
struggle to catch me in 15 meters, but after that, it's not working. So she sent us in, and the first thing they threw me into was hurdles. Like, yeah, exactly, man, exactly. So went, tried it, like couldn't get it right. Like, you know, it was either jump over it properly but not be able to run fast,
You know what I
or
would have
like, you
threw you
know,
into if I
run
was coach?
fast.
I
And
would have made you do the javelin throw.
now, man, this is the funny part with it. A coach came up to me and he was like, "I'm going to take you over here," and he brought me into this kind of big squash room that they use for other stuff as well, and he handed me a shot put, and he was like, "I want you to launch that off the wall." So I did that, and he was like, "Do you like doing that?" I'm like, "This is great. Give me
Yeah,
a way to throw around the place," and I was good at that.
I love shot put as well. Yeah,
Yeah, man, it's fucking brilliant. What's the one with the chain with the weight on the end of it?
I'm a pro.
The hammer throw. I would love to try that. It
Yeah.
was so much fun. But like that's the idea is like man, you know, like I had one coach that wouldn't leave me quit doing the hurdles. Another guy was like, I think I know what you'll be good at. So let you have a bit of it, and it's still part of an athletics club.
I think the sports and everything and the athletics that are done in PE is great that they're being done, but I know a lot of people don't like it, but I feel like it should be prioritized a bit more. And I shouldn't be saying this as a maths teacher, but over certain aspects of maths and maybe not science, because I think that is pretty essential with a lot of things. But some subjects, I think you could dial it back a little bit.
Like
Whereas, like,
CSP.
what's that?
Yeah. Civic, social, political education, isn't it?
I'm
I don't
not.
know, because I think it's good to have an idea of all of this, all of
Yeah,
that stuff.
but we're not saying it's not good to have an idea of it, but people rarely
Well,
fucking learn anything
Well,
inside that.
there's what I'm saying is like right. There's things that are foundational that you need to make sure that you have there every week. Like people need to learn how to write, to read, to I think geography and history and like English and I think all them things are really important as a starting point and as well. But it's like an hour a week. I'm sure you could create the schedule to you know give people an hour in the gym once a week, or and on top of that, maybe they do PE once a week as well, and you like
Yeah,
and they change up the curriculum in the PE so that you're exposed to all different kinds of sports. You do it once, you don't like it, you won't do it again. If you really fall in love with it, you might go and find a club where it's like, oh, I played tennis for the first time, or I did long distance running and I was really good at it. Maybe that's something that I could pursue further. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to encourage kids to play sports that they've never played before. And like a lot of the times, you're probably not going to be good at them, but that just means that okay, well, the more things I try, the more things I know that I don't want to do, and then that pushes me in the directions of the things that I am going to do.
And it highlights whether or not team sports versus individual sports or technical sports versus just brute strength force
Yeah.
like sports and stuff. Which one's best for you? Yeah. No, I agree. I think if you can kind of sprinkle a little bit of nutrition in there as well, it would be amazing with
Oh
the
yeah,
PE
absolutely.
stuff.
Well, I think that could come hand in hand with the gym stuff as well, because it could be all right. This is like all right. We see a lot of kids, especially like in this TikTok era, where they're going to be on extremely low calorie diets, trying to be as skinny as they can and look a certain way, and getting proper nutrition education that maybe you need this amount of calories and this amount of protein and this amount of carbs, and this is going to fuel your training and focusing. Like I think that's all going to be that's all going to contribute to probably a healthier body image on top of
I
doing
think
that
as
kind of.
long as it's sorry, as long as it's targeted towards the word that you just used there, that it will fuel you for it
Yeah.
rather than you need to cut those calories to look this way to become this athlete
Yeah,
kind
well,
of
I
thing.
don't think any decent. If you let's say you're going to hire a decent dietitian or nutritionist, I mean, they usually always speak about nutrition from a health standpoint rather than, the people that you're going to get you on like excessively low calories. Like, yeah,
yeah.
they might have a certificate in nutrition, but realistically, they're a physique coach. They're not a.
If they're talking to kids about diets, you should be kicking them out of the
Yeah, if
room.
they're
Like,
talking to
Well,
kids, if they're in the classroom talking about dieting, they're probably not. They're probably not the people you should be hiring for this kind of work.
I don't know for definite though, but I feel like there are a lot of people that work with kids that are like, if you're overweight, you can't be a track athlete or you can't be doing this. Like, you need to.
I think that's a lot of
Idiots.
older,
Yeah.
older like
Fortunately, though,
professions.
those
Yeah,
attitudes are still very much
Yeah,
in.
and
that's the.
I've go on. I'll go then. I have clients. I have older clients who have GPs, doctors who are a bit older who tell them they shouldn't lift weights or they shouldn't do certain types of exercise and stuff like that. And like, what my clients kind of love now at the moment is the fact that I go, well, let's not listen to that. Let's see how it goes. So like, I have clients who were told they should never squat. They squat. It's avoiding it. Avoiding it isn't going to fucking help. But it does seem to be a thing of a certain age bracket of those health professionals. The advice that's given is an old way of looking at things.
Back on your point there, Rob, about the coach who's like, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing track because you're overweight, or you shouldn't be doing this because you're too short, or you're too tall, or you're too skinny, or whatever it is." Like, they're coaches that aren't qualified to coach kids, because coaching kids is like, if you're worried about a kid being good enough or not being good enough in a specific sport, it's because you're focused on your ego of you wanting kids who are going to win things for you rather than just improving uh that kid in that sport by letting them actually enjoy it and play and
And
like
helping their enjoyment of life. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So your coaching is egocentric. It's about you rather than about the kids, which is like. And I used to hate this even in football when we were younger and stuff like that. And you would have certain coaches who, like, you know, they clearly didn't know how to coach kids. They didn't know how to put on a training session. Um, they clearly were just like focused on like instead of improving the development of that child by just creating an environment where they could just play as much as possible and improve the skill. They were like, oh, okay, we need to win next week, so we need to do, you know, X, Y, and Z. It's like, mate, you're training under eights. Just let them play football and get better. Do you know what I mean? Rather than you being worried of whether you win 2-0 or 3-0 against an opposing town. Like it's like
I think long term for those kids and that team as well, if you're focusing on competitiveness and winning and putting that pressure on from the get go, yes, I think that benefits some, but it also limits their beliefs of what's going on. So, like, you're less open to trying different things in your training sessions, risking that different kind of pass. You're kind of just like obsessed with
exactly, yeah,
You also start to lose the enjoyment
exactly.
of
exactly
the reason you first.
and
Well,
losing.
I found that with rugby, like when I stopped playing, what, 19 or something like that for a while after hurting my shoulder, I actually felt like I was free from it.
Yeah.
It was something you were doing every day of the week. It was, you know, you were being, I remember being 18, 17, 18 years old and having my diet marshaled by a coach, you know, and it's, done around great coach. I've said it in other podcasts as well before. Great coach, but just the way it was done made me hate. It made me hate the way you had to eat, the way you had to train. It was like I want to go out and throw around the ball and have a bit of crack with it. Like I'll play better if you let me do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to.
Sorry,
But it's
go ahead,
like
Rob.
if you're part of a team that is enjoying it, they're going along the journey, they've lost a load of games, they've laughed it off, they've gone, let's come back to the drawing board, let's try this. You develop a team mentality around fun, so you enjoy the game. So you then go, do you know what? I really enjoy this game. I want to be really good at this, and then you have that intrinsic motivation rather than the extrinsic pressure of doing well. Because when you have that extrinsic pressure, it's not for you; it's for
The parent or the coach.
someone else. Yeah, and then you end up falling out with other people because they're going against the grain or whatever. Whereas if you actually genuinely develop a team mentality
Yeah.
and a family mentality, you want to win for everyone else and for yourself, don't you?
There's so many examples of like kids who were like supposed to be the prodigy of their sport when they were younger, and then because they were put so much under so much pressure from their parents or the coaches to you know, perform and be great at that sport, that they lost the enjoyment of the sport. They ended up resenting the sport. They actually quit early, or they self sabotage and, you know, start drinking and doing things that
Yeah, man.
yeah.
I know so many of the next best rugby players, and I don't have enough fingers to count how many don't play anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it does ruin it. Like, you know, even like my brother was playing there a while back, and he was getting paid with the club, and it was kind of like, you know, you're playing club rugby now. It's AIL, it's Division One, but like it wasn't your job. Like, you're a grown up, you know, you're not going to make it as a career. You know, it could also damage you from doing lots of other things. So
Mm.
he started to lose the enjoyment of it. And I think, was it one season? I think he was finishing his masters or something. They offered to pay him again, and he said no. And he was like, "You can't own me if you don't pay me."
Yeah.
You know,
Jesus.
and that's a sport we've played since we're like 5, 7 years old. Like, John, it's you could get paid to play this club game, but like you have a coach ring your boss to see if you can get out of work earlier for something that's involved. It's like, look, you may be trying to make it professional, and yes, it is senior club rugby Division One, but like when things go tits up, the club aren't going to keep your life going.
Yeah. I think that's why it's important for coaches to be educated on, okay, you're coaching kids versus you're coaching competitive athletes.
Yeah.
And like having them conversations with competitive athletes should be a lot different to, you know,
Yeah, it's
your under
competitive
eight rugby
athlete.
team.
It's your career. Like
Yeah, 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 yeah,
that's it. It's whether it's a career, fun, or you're just out there to play.
yeah. And I know there's probably a little bit of a grey area where you're, let's say, 14, 15 on the cuff of maybe you have a lot of potential and you might be on the cuff of going from semi-professional to professional or amateur to semi-professional, and like you might get hard conversations from coaches that are like, right, well, you're too weak at the moment, you need to get to the gym and get bigger because of, you can't have people knocking you off the ball, etc., or whatever it is. Like
Yeah.
there is a fair middle ground in that kind of
Yeah.
a conversation. But I don't think it's for 8 year olds or 6 year olds or
No,
probably
it's
10 year
it's
olds.
it's normally it's normally 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my experience with it as well. Like I heard one recently about I won't give too much detail on it, but like it was a player's parents giving out that they weren't getting enough playing time on a team, which is understandable when you're probably like under sixes, under eights, under tens, under 12s. But this is a senior team and the child's 19. So it kind of gets to a
Sorry,
point where
there
you're
is no such thing as a child at 19.
yeah, well, I'm just trying to just say how ridiculous it is. It's kind of thing is like, well, you're just not fucking good enough.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah,
does get to that point where it's
yeah.
just like,
And like at some stage you have to accept that as well, that you're not
yeah,
good enough to play for this
hey,
team.
if you want to start, you got to get better.
Yeah. Or if you don't
It's
agree with the coach, go play for someone else and see if you can start for them and
yeah,
prove them wrong.
yeah. And if that doesn't work out, then just don't go back.
Yeah,
No, I'm
if that doesn't work out, then
I'm only
if
joking.
yeah, if that doesn't work out, then well, the coach was probably right.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, you know. So we're kind of we're in a middle ground that maybe the gym should be gym cans of Monster and loads of creatine, and that should all be introduced at 13 years of age in secondary school. Are you agreed, Rob? A little
I
bit
don't know
of little bit of Anavar after third year.
if they'd given me cans of Monster when I was 12, 13, it would have settled me down with everything I know now. So,
um,
I think being aware that it's a supplement to what you should already be doing
yes.
is fun. But like, yeah, so activity outside of the classroom should be prioritized. Gym is a supplement to that, in my opinion.
How do you think both of your approach to exercise has evolved over the years?
It's a mutated monster, I think. uh, it
yeah,
it's fluctuated so much from, I think it was weightlifting to start off with, just for aesthetics. I didn't really go heavy, just went high reps.
Mm-hmm.
Went to uni, literally just went to the gym for mental health. Didn't do anything with a target. It was a break from work. It was a bit of movement. It kind of felt good. Then it was for a social scene, and then it turned into cardio and felt really good because I was like moving. The endorphins were amazing. Then I bumped into some powerlifter guys and realized I was quite strong. Did that. That felt really good ego wise. But then my cardio took a plummet. I started putting on weight. I didn't feel comfortable with how my body was and how I moved. Went back to classes, and now it's kind of just I'm doing a mixture of all of it because I know I enjoy all of it, and I'll just turn up to the gym. Don't really have a program at the minute, which I think I would make a lot more progress from if I did have one. But I'm just enjoying
fucking around.
Going to the gym consistently throughout my life rather than doing a program consistently for 3 months.
So would you say that in terms of your approach to fitness and exercise, or even your mindset, that you're more open-minded to, it doesn't have to be very specific, individualized, you can just train for the sake of training, whatever that looks like?
Unless you have a particular goal that you want to hit and you're drive in the gym is motivated by hitting a particular target. I think just turning up, doing something that feels good in the moment, using the gym as a social tool, whatever it is that you want to do. If you just turn up and do something, it's good enough.
Do
If
you
you don't
think
hit that target,
do you think it's more
okay.
powerful the fact that though you're intrinsically motivated to train regardless of an external goal?
Yeah, so I'm quite fortunate that I know that I enjoy it. I know that it feels good. I know all of that stuff. I've got that intrinsic drive. If someone doesn't really have that, then yeah, it's going to be harder. You kind of need that external
Yeah,
push, don't you? Like goal to hit.
yeah, yeah. What about you,
But
Ger? Sorry, go ahead, Rob.
I think if you just, I think if you just focus on that goal and then you hit it and you haven't focused on everything else, I don't really feel like it actually gives you that much genuine satisfaction overall. Because then you're just like, I need to hit the next goal, or
It's like
when
that.
you
Sorry,
don't.
it's like that meme that I always share. It's like, didn't hit my goal, agony. Hit my goal. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel, I
Yeah.
feel nothing ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's move to the next one.
Yeah, let's
That's
move.
that done.
That didn't feel like it was supposed to feel. Let's move. We need to make the goal bigger.
It's never enough.
Although on the flip side, I do feel like I also don't necessarily signpost my achievements that much. So sometimes I get less satisfaction from my training because I am just doing it in the background
Share your
and I
wins,
don't have
Robert.
it
Share your wins.
exactly.
Would you
Yeah.
tell you
I
would
just
tell
think it's
would you tell a student to share their wins?
not too frequently. I think celebrate their own wins, but not. I wouldn't want to focus on it too much as a you have to achieve this to actually be happy. I
Mhm.
think just accepting whatever you're doing is good.
I like sharing my failures
Sharing
It
failures,
training.
yeah,
I think it makes you a little bit tougher into like, you know, like it's as you said, like it's great when you hit a target inside the gym that you wanted or out running or whatever it is. But then you're just like, all right, I'll go again. I kind of enjoy sharing the failed lifts, the failed runs. Like I've talked to people more about like not enjoying running than the certain parts I do enjoy about it. Like I joked to one of the lads, the only reason I'm enjoying running now is because I'm showing up for the thick boys,
Yeah,
the thick people,
that's not
anyone
failing.
with
Right?
thick thighs.
Is that really failing or is
No,
that
no,
winning? Because you're
no,
showing.
it's winning. But like I've had a lot of runs where I've gone out like and I've had to fucking stop, and they've been shorter distances than I've done before, and I'm like, all right, yeah, great. It doesn't failing lifts, failing runs, any of that. It doesn't really bother me anymore. But it's the whole yeah. You do celebrate your wins, but it is that thing is once you fucking hit that target, then you're like, all right, well, I'm gonna go on again.
That's also a reason why it would be good to have kids in a gym environment because it's one of the few places where you can go and fail and it's looked at in a positive mindset
yeah.
rather than a negative mindset. You're pursuing failure. You're looking to get to a
And you
stage where you can't get another rep in.
That's
and you
what
can work on it. You can work on it again and change the result. Like it's a big difference between losing a match you played last weekend.
Yeah,
You can't play that game again.
yeah.
That game is gone. The game is over. Whereas you fail a squat or something like that, you fix a few things, you keep going back at it, you might get it in the next week or two.
that's kind of what I do with my teaching as well. You talking about my with working with my students, like I will verbalize to them. It's great if you get the right answer, obviously, because it shows you understand what's going on.
Hmm.
But the thing I actually want you to do is give me an answer, show me your working. If it's wrong, we'll work through it together. But it's the actual sharing of the experience and sharing of their understanding that I celebrate the most. Like I
Yes.
think if they get it right, it's awesome. But I don't want them to feel like the only time they oh, I don't want them to feel like the only time that they have achieved is when they've got it right.
Yeah, there's too
The
much
time they've
there's too much
achieved is when
there's
they've
too much pressure then to be it's too black and white. You're either right or wrong. You're a pass or fail. It's like
I don't necessarily agree with like trophies for I mean, I do agree with celebrating participation for sure. But like, if you're top goal scorer, you get the top goal scorer trophy. You don't get second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th because you didn't win it. But like, celebrate the participation still. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Like it when I get my members to celebrate, like let's say they've had their very inconsistent with their training, or they've been gone for a while. Like the win is them actually showing up in the gym rather than what they do in the gym.
Exactly. I noticed you posted the other day, was it a guy doing 100 sessions or something?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, so like you didn't say anything about what lifts he'd achieved. Obviously, I think it's great to celebrate the lift still,
yeah,
but you didn't. I don't think you said anything about that. It was just he's been here 100 times.
yeah,
That's fucking awesome. He's shown up. He's participated. He's part of the family. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Rather than, oh, you've lost 10 kilos, let's give you a trophy for
yeah,
the best transformation, which I don't really approve
Yeah.
of them
It's
competition.
same idea as like if a client misses a lift or struggles on a certain exercise and they start to feel down and you just say, do you remember when you couldn't do the lightest weight of this exercise?
Mhm.
yeah.
Look how far you've come. And like it's that like I do love your 100 session posts because especially with people who like may not have gone to the gym before
Yeah,
and then they feel down that they might have missed a day or their nutrition has lapsed a bit or blah blah blah. I'm like, you've put down 100 sessions of something you used to not do.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You've turned up 100 times for yourself.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like that's huge. Like it is the like I don't think like we everyone talks about like celebrating the journey and stuff like that and blah blah. But I don't think people look at it in the sense that like look at where you are now and reflect back on where it started. Like I had a client that can do a static lunge with 17 and a half kilos in each hand and they were giving out that they were having a bit of a wobble and I was like I just looked at them I was like you couldn't do this with body weight when we started
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh yeah, but now," and I'm like, "No, no, no. Let's not be nice." I'm like, "You were fucking shit at it when we started." I was like,
You
you're
fucking
now holding
sucked.
35. You suck." But I was like, "But you're holding 35 kilos
You
now,
were a
and you're
weak
worrying
piece of
about a
shit
little
before you
wobble."
met me.
So I do it with a smile, so it's okay.
I owned
But
you
it's that it's
now.
that idea. My coaching tactics are coming out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
But no,
suck.
you're no, you're right. You're absolutely right. Um, yeah, I fundamentally agree. All right. What about? I never asked you there. What has your approach to exercise changed over the years? Like, where would you say it is now? If you were to say like your philosophy around training or around exercise, or just your mindset around it.
like Rob's mutated monster. Mine started with performance.
Yeah.
Obviously through sports and stuff. It started with performance. Then I fell off doing it. I
Mhm.
got back into exercise through rugby in the States, so my cardio went through the roof. And I remember when I first came home, my brother brought me to the gym and I couldn't bench 40 kilos. And I was like, oh, well, fuck that. I
Mhm.
was like, we need to get some strength back. Then I'd say where you would have called me a gym person
Gym bro.
was at the height of my eating disorder and heavy body image issues.
Yeah.
And I was going 5, 6 days a week, overtraining, no increase in performance. You were training for vanity. It was all about how you looked. And it's now come back to performance. Like I think I was talking to someone about it the other day. It was we talk about the body, your body being your business card in this industry, and like I can put my hand up and say that for like most people's stereotypical coach or trainer, I don't have the aesthetic that most people would regard as fit, but I can lift double my body weight and I can go run 10 kilometers.
Mhm.
You know?
Fitness is literally being able to do what you need to do,
Yeah,
regardless of what that is. Like if you are able to do your job and live your life. You are fit.
Yeah. And I like with the your body being your business card. I always say my business card is how my clients feel before and after they train.
Yeah.
That's my business card. Like, but yeah, it's like it is now performance. It's completely performance. The stronger and fitter I am, more endurance. It's that's what challenges me now. Like, and I've always come back to the if you tweak your nutrition here and there, the vanity side of it will take care of itself if you're training hard.
100%. Like with CrossFit, there's no mirrors, but everyone looks fucking amazing,
Yeah.
usually. What about yours, Carl? What's your fitness journey?
I am turning towards longevity in my old age. My lower back is starting to hurt, and I'm adding in some Jefferson curls. I'm starting to like add in some lateral lunges that I never would have done before. Just so I can move in a certain way. I'm gonna start adding in like some. Even though I played sport throughout my 20s, I never really did much plyometrics and stuff like that, even though I probably should have.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking like, oh, my knees are a little bit sore, my hips are a little bit sore. Maybe I should be adding in some like vertical jumps and like things where I'm landing on one leg, aka one knee.
You're creeping up in your mid 30s. That's what's happening.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like I'm
Have
looking
you ever
at.
done
Sorry?
Have you ever done kickbacks properly?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're
We've
fucking
a,
rough.
we've a
Just
kickback machine in the gym.
sweet. I was going to say because I was getting really bad lower back and
Mm,
everything, and then I started doing those like not heavy, just
yeah,
really nice control,
yeah.
engaging the glutes, and my lower back has been so much.
I will stand by that. That my hamstring and glute training is dipped over the last while,
Mm,
and now I can feel a tightness in my back from doing more desk work. I use hammer fucking glutes and hamstrings. Never like obviously had a little lower back issue here and there, mostly from overtraining and not doing my rehab. If my physio watches this at all, I will say prehab is the way to go.
yeah. he'll,
That's,
he'll
it's not.
love he'll love that. All All right, we'll leave it there. I think that conversation didn't go anywhere where I thought it was going to go. Anyway, about children and the gym and you know. But anyway,
Don't make that the clip you
yeah,
share.
yeah, yeah. We spent an hour talking about the youth.
Kids.
All right.
Oh,
Until
God.
next week. Yeah. Thanks a million, folks. Pleasure as
All right.
always.
Have a
See
good one.
ya.